at what's wrong with having a job if you're unskilled, what's wrong with having a job if you're skilled. We've looked at some of the positives and the negatives of those two roles, mostly emphasising the negatives. Let's take a slightly closer look at that, just to finish off this one section. What's wrong with just having a job? Imagine you need to make more money. Something's come up, the roof's leaking, another child's on the way, whatever it is, but imagine you need to make more money. What are your options? Well, how about doing some overtime? Now, if you're unskilled, generally speaking, you can get overtime because often places like McDonald's or Costa Coffee or whatever it is are always after that little bit of extra time out of you, because it sort of saves them having to hire someone else for a start. Problem is, if you're in a skilled job, let's say a doctor or a nurse, well, you're expected to do that extra time anyway, and so you don't get any extra money. But still, your time is limited. Even if you're offered overtime, you can only do so many hours. There's probably some legal thing about how many hours you can actually do anyway, but just physically, the energy you have, you can only do so many hours. So it's not a long-term viable option. Imagine you need to make money regularly every month because of an ongoing expense. Well, you can't do that overtime for the next 30 years because you'll just wear yourself out. So that's sort of against you. How about you get another part-time job? Well, your time is still limited. There's only so many hours in the week. There's only so many hours that you can actually do physically. So whether you're skilled or unskilled, yes, you can get another job, but you'll probably be absolutely knackered at the end of the week. So again, time is against you. How about robbing a bank? Or more seriously, you could get into a bit of a crime. Well, still not a good idea for lots of reasons. However, at the end of the day, you still pay with time. You get caught, it's your time that is taken away from you. Your freedom is your time. So although robbing a bank, that's a bit of a flippant comment, but still, crime is something that people go to, a little thing on the side. It's not really a good long-term viable option. Basically, time is the thing that is holding us back. Let's take an even closer look at that for a second. What are the skilled and the unskilled paid for? If you have a normal, in brackets, job, what are you actually being paid for? Well, you're paid at one level for your skills. If you're skilled, if you're classed as a doctor or whatever, of course you're paid for your skills. You've gone to university for 7 years or whatever it is to qualify, and you've got a piece of paper which says, I'm a doctor, or I'm a nurse, or I'm a teacher, or I'm a lawyer, or whatever it is. And you're paid for that. But on a week-by-week basis, it's not really your skills, not ultimately, not the very bottom line, it's not your skills that you are being paid for. Is it your abilities? The ability that you are amazing at flipping burgers at McDonald's, or you're amazing at diagnosing some weird tropical diseases in patients in Guatemala? Well, yes, to an extent, because if you can't flip burgers, you're not going to get your job at McDonald's. If you can't diagnose diseases, you're not going to be very good in your particular field, whatever that's called. I don't know, I just made that up. But again, at the end of the day, there's something else that you're being paid for, and it's not primarily your skills, it's not primarily your abilities. So it must be your good looks. Well, maybe if you're a model, if you're a supermodel, you're being paid for your good looks. But generally speaking, it's not that. What you're being paid for at the end of the day is your time. Your time. You are contracted. Someone offers you a job as a doctor and they say, yes, Dr. So-and-so, we are going to hire you. We want you to work here, be here at 7 o'clock Monday morning. Now, why do they say 7 o'clock? Because it's your time. If you rocked up at the doctor's surgery or at McDonald's at 11:30 on a Monday and sort of waltzed in, you will probably have someone giving you some very strong words because it's about time. Time is everything. If you leave work half an hour early from McDonald's, you're shouted at. If you leave work 5 hours early, probably if you're a doctor, you're still frowned upon. Your class is not committed. Even though you could have done an incredible day's work, got lots done, the fact that you're walking out the door is frowned upon. But your time is priceless and limited. Think about this for a second. If you're on this earth for about 80 years, what price can you actually realistically put on your time? It is priceless. You cannot value your time because it's your life. It's everything that you are is your time. The fact that someone is putting a price on that hour that you work at one point is quite ridiculous. And of course, you're limited. You can only do so many hours per week without collapsing from exhaustion. So it's limited and it's priceless. And this is the problem that we have with the 9 to 5, be it skilled, unskilled job. It's your time is ultimately your enemy in that situation. So we're going to explore later on about alternatives and also how the rich view time.